more standards so that, all of this can become easier in the long run. Because at the end of the day, all of this just is to make everyone's life easier so that you can solve the problems in an easier, faster fashion. But thank you. That was a great question. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to thank the panelists. I have a little gift for you, and then I'm going to go through a couple slides, so don't leave yet. But before you go off stage, I wanted to give you some little squishies. So our product is called Squid. It's a secure, quick, universal interface device. So we made little squids for you. And to thank you for participating in our panel. You're welcome. So please give a round. So you guys probably won't cover that. Yeah, it doesn't bother you. So yeah, I'm gonna spend like 5 minutes talking a little bit more about what we're doing and what we plan to do with our demo mission, so you can all learn more, and then I'll give you time to ask questions about it. But basically, like what you heard on the panel, what we're trying to do at Orbital Outpost X is remove a lot of the roadblocks you have in your mission to allow you to easily, seamlessly integrate, your payloads to your subsystems, to be able to easily swap things last minute when a subsystem doesn't arrive or the payload doesn't arrive, and to be able to develop agnostic of whatever platform you're flying on, to expedite your design mission cycles, and to allow you to persistently monitor things using our software and sensors on board so that you can autonomously operate things easily on orbit. To introduce our team, I'm the CEO. I worked previously with Martin at Maxar and Lisa and some others that I see here in the audience. I also was the early part of the team at Momentous, helped them scale all the way through going public, and very excited to be a CEO of Orbital Outpost X since January. Gustavo, if you want to raise your hand, Gustavo is our COO. He was previously at SpaceX for 6 years and co-founded Orbital Outpost X. Dan Crow is our CTO. He used to be the CTO of Northrop Grumman, and also worked at the Air Force. And Dan Slater is our chief engineer, who's a big technologist, developed companies, etc. And just a little history about us. So we were founded back in 2021, and if you're wondering, like, why is the name Orbital Outpost X? We actually started as a space station company with the rest of the CLD. Started developing those, and in January pivoted away from developing space stations because there wasn't that big of a market demand for it, to developing the picks and shovels that are needed to enable, the gold rush to space and this modular space economy that we're talking about. And as we were going through this, we realized one of the pain points we were having as we were trying to develop this modular space station was the lack of standardized interconnect that were smart and that would allow us to connect all these different modules together. So that's why we developed Squid. The Squid, I have one of them right here, the two sides of it, and you probably saw 3D printed versions of it. It looks like this. There's two sides. One side sits on the payload, the other side sits on your bus or your platform. It allows you to transfer data, power, fluids, RF, anything you need, and they come together and they separate, and there's like a little pin. So this is like the first iteration of Squid that's meant to manually connect on the ground. Later versions will be able to autonomously do that on orbit and robotically, come together with robotic latching mechanisms. Not only does it serve as an interface point, but there's also a whole bunch of sensors that we have in there and software that monitors everything going across this interface so that you can employ AI on there to take actions if something is happening that you don't want to happen, and allows you to have more autonomy on orbit. Here's just like a quick little video showing the next gen version that autonomously makes on orbit, and then the robotic arm coming through. But I didn't have a model of that to show you, so I wanted to show you the video real quick. And in terms of our roadmap, we're developing Squids right now, and we're developing the Squid brain that we call Sentinel that allows you to do autonomous fault management and fault detection and correction with zero trust architecture. And this is a product we're going to be offering as well, and expanding the Squid family into, eventually we're going to have whole networks of these deployed in space that would allow you to basically have plug and play and have like a whole ecosystem of these that you can operate on orbit. And the part you've all been waiting for, the demo mission. So in order to demonstrate that this all works on orbit, we're going to be flying a set of these squids. And what we're looking for right now is to demonstrate that this works just like it does here on the ground in orbit, and demonstrate how it works in zero gravity. We're going to do not only environmental tests, but we also want to put them together, show how you can transfer power and data, and test some of the AI expert systems that we have built in here. Expert system is just like a fancy way of saying it's a form of AI that you program here on the ground. You tell it, oh, if this happens, then do that. If this happens, do that. So that it doesn't just go off and do whatever it wants. So it's one of the oldest forms of AI that we're going to be testing on orbit. And the ideal payload candidate that we're looking for would connect on one side of this, have this payload ready to do system level testing, or there's a whole slew of tests that the launch vehicle provider like SpaceX will require prior to launch by Q2 of next year. And be able to operate in low Earth orbit for up to 6 months, potentially longer if it's able to do that. Be agnostic of what orbit it will be on. So if it's a payload that can only operate in SSL, it's probably not ideal because we might go on a flight with million bucks. And we prefer US built because some of the stuff that we work on is ITAR on the software side. So just easier. So that's like a quick overview of what we're planning to do. The launch we're planning for this demo is in the second half of next year. So sometime between Q3 and Q4 of 2025 is when we plan to do this, and then keep it on orbit for as long as we can, depending on the different launch options we're looking for. It could be as short as a month, could be as long as 6 months or longer. Okay, and with that, I'm going to pause because we have 3 minutes left and see if you guys have any questions and about the demo mission and what we're planning to do. And feel free to come, play with the engineering model of the script that I have up here.
Have you ever guys systems like there's one before? And are you building like your own satellite to host the interface? Or are you guys like working with another provider?
Great question. I should have talked about that. No, we are not building our own satellite. We will be hosting this experiment on board another platform. So it could be on an impulse-based mirror vehicle. It could be on an Arkisys, cutter port. It could be on another satellite bus that hosts payloads typically. So one side we connect to them, and we're not building that side. And that platform we will fly on will have heritage. And we'll have flown before. This squid that we're going to launch will have not flown before. We will do a whole series of ground testing to de-risk it as much as possible. But the point of the demonstration is to show that this will work as planned on orbit. And what we're looking for is a payload to come make it. Now that payload doesn't come from outside the SHD yet, but it has to be able to operate in that environment and at least draw power and data from us so that we can demonstrate that the demo works on orbit. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you have the specifications about how much data can we send and how much power can we use? Everything?
Yeah, we have data sheets in the back of the room that you can pick up that kind of outline all the data and power and other specs that this squid is capable of doing. It's a whole range of things. So you can basically, you're within that range. Ideally, the payload that we fly has a small swap, so you're not going to require like a kilowatt of power because the platforms we fly on will most likely not, have a plethora of power to give us for this demonstration mission. And, so the more modest the power requirement is, if a few watts is better than if you need hundreds of watts, for example. And on the data side, we're starting with Ethernet, but, you can come in with other things too if you need to, but we prefer that for this demo. But eventually we hope that we will work with Arkisys and use things like the Applicate to be able to transfer from any data protocol coming into what the host platform will be using. I hope that answered your question. Any other questions?
Does this have a mechanical strength interface? As in, if I have a thing, can I bolt this to it, and now this thing will simply clip into the platform, and I'm done?
Yes, most of the mechanical interface is constraints are more due to the constraints of the host. And, they might have like a CG envelope, which the payload needs to fit in. So as long as the mass and the CG of your object is within that envelope, then it's going to be okay to host. But in terms of how much mass we can handle in terms of connecting and hanging off of this, it depends on the CG, and this is like a whole envelope. So I can't say, oh, it has to be like 50 kilograms or less. It's actually a couple of that.
But it is in that kind of range.
Yeah.
50 kilo, whatever, not 1 kilo, not 500 kilo.
No. 40, 50.
Right,
but if you come with like a 200 kilogram payload, I'd be like, we need to go revalue this.
Put my money with it. But basically, as long as you mount that thing to your satellite, and you can show that if you shake that thing, it's not going to fall apart. That flips onto the thing, and that's it. Nothing else required.
It's supposed to make the whole process easier, so that the customer can, the platform can send this interface out to the customer. They mount it, they do their vibe testing, etc., and it's just a zip.
And does this thing have a listening interface? As in, if I mount this to my satellite, you do not have to touch my satellite to do the integration. So I have a satellite that's completely covered in solar cells that cannot be touched.
Oh,
So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, we can have the tooling to
you
allow
can
you
hold
to
this
not.
thing and
Yes.
only hold this thing and get it transferred from your transport bracket onto the those satellites and never have to touch anything else than
That's a
that
really good
thing.
point. Yes.
So that'd be good.
Just created I'm going to invite you to every one of these meetings, Martin. You're awesome. So I hope you all took note of
Thank you,
that.
Bill.
We are 2 minutes over time. I'm sorry. I don't want to hold you over because I'm sure you have many of other sessions to go to. Over here, Gustavo and I are happy to answer any questions you might have about the demo. If you're interested in flying with us, please connect with us. Let us know what kind of payload you're interested in flying, what the specs of it are, and we can definitely put you in the list of potential candidates to fly with us. We have a list of payloads we're considering. We wanted to have this session here to increase the pool of potential candidates. And we will also be demonstrating how you can swap payloads prior to launch, last minute, and things of that nature to be part of the job. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.